My husband turned into a monster after he caught me cheating and discovered I was pregnant, and now our marriage is falling apart. I know this is long, but I am writing it to vent and to ask for advice from people who understand marriage problems after cheating. It has been 7 months since my husband found out about my affair. We are both 39. Before he found out, my husband was sweet. He was not a perfect man, but he made me feel like I was his whole world. Our family was his whole world. He worked long hours so I could stay home and raise our son and daughter. Even after a hard day, he still did small loving things just to make me smile. What makes this harder is that my husband was not always the calm and gentle person people see today. In high school, he had a rough reputation. He could be loud, charming, and arrogant. He got into fights. He dated many girls. People either loved him or were scared of him. I was the opposite. I was the nerdy girl. I loved video games, comic books, manga, and cosplay. I kept to myself. I did not expect a guy like him to look my way. But something happened in high school that changed my whole life. He moved to our town in 8th grade. He was different from the guys I grew up with. His family also felt different. Everyone wanted to be around him. Even though he had a popular vibe, he was always nice to me. He talked to me like I mattered. Because of him, I was invited to my first party. He taught me how to dance salsa. He introduced me to a crowd I never thought I could belong to. Then he got pulled into the popular group, and I assumed that was the end of whatever small connection we had. But the summer before senior year, he walked into the comic shop where I worked. He stayed there for hours just talking to me. He did not act bored. He did not act like he was doing me a favor. He seemed genuinely interested in what I liked. One day, he even walked me home. That turned into many days. By the end of that summer, we were dating. My senior year became the best year of my life. I went to parties. I had friends. I felt included. But the best moments were still the quiet ones with him, when it was just the two of us. I never stopped caring about school. I studied hard, and I made him study too. We both got accepted into the same college. We got married shortly after graduation. Then life moved fast. Our son was born about a year and a half later. Our daughter was born 20 months after that. My husband worked like crazy for us. At first, he struggled to find a stable job because he lacked experience. He took whatever work he could get. Construction, janitorial work, grave digging, reception work, anything. Finally, a company gave him a chance as a computer technician. During those hard-working years, he gained weight. Not because he did nothing, but because his body just changed and he had a hard time losing fat. He still had strength and muscle, but he also carried extra weight. I stayed slim. I exercised when I could and kept my figure. Over time, we looked like a funny cartoon couple. Big, strong man with a softer body and a fit, slender wife. We even dressed as Barney and Betty Rubble one Halloween because it matched the stereotype. The problem was not his body. The problem was our intimacy. His sex drive stayed high. Mine slowly dropped. It was not that I did not love him. It was not that I found him disgusting. I just was not in the mood the way I used to be. The kids drained me. Cooking drained me. Cleaning drained me. I was tired all the time. Yes, he helped. He cooked sometimes. He did laundry sometimes. We even had little systems like Saturday takeout day and Sunday daddy cooks day. But even with help, I still felt exhausted. In the early years, I used to love when he desired me. I used to enjoy the intensity. But over time, I started saying no more often than yes. And when we did have sex, my husband often made it into a long marathon. I would end up sore for days, and he would still want more. That made me dread it. He also wanted me to do special things to spice it up, like dressing up in cosplay for him. I did not want to. I felt like it was another chore. The sad part is that he did not mind wearing costumes at conventions for me, even if he did not enjoy it. He did it because it made me happy. But when he asked me to do it for intimacy, I shut down. Our lack of sex became a major issue for him. We tried couples counseling. Our counselor said my husband acted like a borderline sex addict, but only toward me. He did not want other women. He wanted me. He wanted his wife. I also went to doctors to check myself. I learned my estrogen was low. I was prescribed medications. Nothing really fixed the problem. Eventually, I was told I had something like female sexual dysfunction. I felt embarrassed. I felt broken. I even felt angry because it sounded fake to me. But the reality was simple. My body and mind were not responding the way they used to. Still, I never thought I would cheat. What happened was not some romantic love story. It was not planned. It was not a long secret relationship. It happened in one night, and it ruined everything. One evening, I went out with friends. We are all married, and we all go to the same church. It was a bowling night. It was the first time since the lockdown period that we all really got together and laughed and felt normal again. We had fun. I drank a bit, but I was not drunk. I was just lightly buzzed. When the bowling ended, the women went home. I did not want to drive right away because I still felt that buzz. So I went to the lounge area to sit and wait it out. That is where I met my affair partner. He was young, early 20s. He saw me reading manga on my phone, and he started talking to me about it. We talked for hours. He flirted. I flirted back. I wish I could blame alcohol. I cannot. I wish I could blame loneliness. I cannot. My husband always gave me attention. He always wanted me. He always tried. I wish I could say my marriage was miserable. It was not. To this day, I do not fully understand why I allowed it to happen. The young man walked me to my car. He kissed me. Instead of stopping him, I kissed him back. We ended up in a motel nearby and had sex. It was not even good. It was not some magical moment. It was awkward, quick, and emotionally empty. Partway through, I suddenly realized what I was doing. I pushed him off, apologized, got dressed, and left. When I got home, my husband was asleep on the sofa with one of the kids. I went to the shower and cried. I cried like I had never cried before. I felt disgusted with myself. I told myself it was a horrible mistake and it would never happen again. I did not wake my husband. I let him and the kids sleep. I went to bed, curled into a ball, and cried myself to sleep. The next day, I wanted to confess, but I was terrified, so I hid it. For 5 weeks, I acted like it never happened. I tried to bury it. I tried to pretend the guilt would disappear. Then I realized my period was late. I took a pregnancy test. It was positive. I was in shock because my husband had a vasectomy. Also, my husband and I had sex twice during that time, but a pregnancy should have been nearly impossible. And during the affair, I believe the young man used protection and did not finish. I went to the doctor. The doctor confirmed I was pregnant. That created a terrifying reality. The baby could not be my husband's. And even if the affair partner did not finish, pregnancy can still happen. The doctor explained how. I panicked. I cannot keep this child. I cannot bring an affair baby into my family and destroy my children's home even more. I also knew the pregnancy itself would expose everything. So I scheduled an abortion. My plan was to keep the affair secret forever and end the pregnancy quietly. I thought I could protect my husband from the truth and protect our family name. I know how awful that sounds now. I came home, cried, and tried to pull myself together for when the kids came home. But my husband came home early. I forced a smile. He did not smile back. He looked like rage. He told me he received an email from our health insurance about a new claim. He asked me who the father was. I broke down. He asked again. He asked how long the affair was going on. I finally admitted it. I told him it happened one time at the bowling place. I told him I stopped it and left. I told him it was a stupid mistake. He did not believe me. His voice got louder. The second time he asked, he yelled so hard it felt like the sound went through my body. I kept saying it was one time, but he did not accept it. He grabbed my chin and slammed me against the wall. This was the first time he ever put his hands on me in anger. His eyes looked bloodshot. He was fighting tears. He demanded details. What we did, what the man looked like, where we met. Then he insulted me in Spanish and walked out. I cried and called my sister to pick up the kids because I could not handle being around them in that moment. My husband did not come back until after midnight. When he walked in, I gasped. He had a black eye. His shirt had bloodstains. His fists were bruised. I asked if he was okay. He shoved me and told me the blood was not his. Then he went to the bathroom and slammed the door. I waited on the stairs, shaking. When he came out, he looked at me with disgust and went to the living room. I tried to speak, but he ignored me. Finally, I asked who he fought. He looked at me and said, "Who do you think?" I felt cold all over. The next day, I went to the bowling alley and asked around. Somehow, my husband figured out who the young man was and found him. In our town, fights happen so often that unless someone is seriously hurt, police rarely show up fast. So my husband was able to beat the man without immediate consequences. After that, my husband kicked me out of our bedroom. I slept on the sofa. Twice I tried to climb back into the bed, thinking maybe closeness would calm him. The first time he yelled at me to get out. The second time, he shoved me off the bed. I got up silently and went back to the sofa and cried. On the day of the abortion appointment, he told me I'd better get it done. I nodded. I was terrified. I asked him to come with me because I was scared to go alone. He looked at me with hate and told me to go by myself. When I came back from the procedure, there were moving pods outside the garage. My husband and his friends were unloading the garage into them. I asked what was going on. He cursed at me and told me it was none of my business. A few hours later, I heard hammering. He was turning the garage into a separate apartment for himself. I kept trying to apologize. He ignored me. One day I lost control and begged him again, crying and apologizing. He finally snapped back, not with violence, but with cold words. He told me he was not wasting energy on me. He said if he could, he would divorce me, but lawyers told him he would be ruined financially by alimony and child support. He said he could not afford to live alone, so he was stuck in the same house with me. The first month was awkward because we had to explain the situation to the kids without telling them adult details. My husband started living in the garage apartment. He came into the house to check on the kids, ignored me, and left again. The second month, I begged him to go to counseling. He agreed, but he mostly stayed silent. When he spoke, it was to yell at me for cheating. He said I had no excuse. He made that clear again and again. Then something happened that crushed me. In counseling, I learned he was sleeping with other women. At first, I thought he was lying just to hurt me, but the look on his face told me it was real. The counselor asked how many. He said he did not keep count. He said he had been meeting random women almost every other day for the past 3 weeks. He said he needed to feel like a man again and feel wanted. The counselor said 2 wrongs do not make a right. My husband fired back and said it was not 2 wrongs. He said I cheated, broke our vows, lied, got pregnant, and tried to hide it. He said what he was doing now was him adapting to the new reality. Outside the house, we pretend to be a normal couple. Inside the house, we are roommates. It hurt, but part of me still hoped. I told myself, if he still wants sex with me sometimes, maybe I can win him back. But then he got cruel. The next month, he started flirting with women in front of me, like he wanted to punish me. I finally snapped and said I wanted a divorce. He laughed at me. He told me to go ahead, but he would make sure everyone knew what I did. He said he would post it everywhere, tell friends and family, even include it in the holiday newsletter. The threat terrified me and shut me down. We argued. It turned into a huge emotional fight. and in that mess, we ended up having sex. It lasted for hours. After it ended, I felt hope. I thought maybe this was the start of healing. Then he told me to get out. He said my usefulness had lasted long enough. That word destroyed me. For months, it stayed like that. Sometimes we would sleep together, and afterward he would kick me out. He would still hook up with other women. He lived in the garage. He acted like I was nothing. We kept going to counseling, but it did not feel like healing. It felt like survival. In one session, he told the counselor something that terrified me. He said something broke inside him. When he looks at me, he feels like he wasted years of his life. He said he is just going through the motions now. I asked if we could start over. He told me that when the kids are old enough that he will not have to pay child support, he will divorce me. Then he walked out. That made me wonder, if he is so determined to leave, why does he still attend counseling every week? A part of me thinks he says these things only to hurt me. A part of me thinks he is still fighting himself. Then, our anniversary came. Our family threw us a party. In public, he played the perfect husband. He held my hand. He kissed my cheek. He made a sweet speech. I hated myself for what I did to him, but I also missed the old version of us so badly. When we got home, he put the kids to bed. I tried to initiate sex. We did it. The moment it ended, he got up and left. I begged him to stay. He ignored me. I cried myself to sleep. I feel desperate. I want my husband back. I want our life back. I want someone who has been through something like this to tell me what is possible, because right now, I feel like I destroyed everything and I cannot undo it. Husband response update. I'm using my possible ex-wife's account to say my side, because people told me to post here. I do not know if I'm acting like a monster. I know I'm handling this in an unhealthy way, but I want people to understand what she left out. My wife has autism with savant traits. She can hear a tune and play it perfectly. She can look at someone and know their measurements and make clothes that fit them. When I met her in high school, I was drawn to her. People told me not to date her because they said she was not right in the head. Even her parents were against it. But I liked her. I loved how she came to school in outfits and costumes she made. I talked to her about anime and comic characters, even though it was not my world. I loved seeing her face light up. In the 1990s, the internet was not what it is now. So I went to libraries and clinics and talked to people who understood autism. I wanted to do the work because she was worth it. We have been seeing the same counselor since we started dating, mostly to support her. Sometimes it helped me too. Yes, I made compromises. She had tantrums. She had sensory issues. I handled a lot. I did it because I loved her. To me, she was worth it. We married soon after college. She wanted a cosplay wedding, and I did it because it made her comfortable. Our sex life was never what I wanted. Sometimes we had sex once a month. Sometimes up to 6 times. Sometimes not all. Her moods, her obsessions with manga, her fears about our kids inheriting autism, all of it affected our intimacy. I wanted more children. She did not. She feared passing on autism. I got a vasectomy, and that hurt me emotionally for a long time because I truly wanted a bigger family. People think being with someone with autism is like TV shows. Those shows may show the behaviors, but they do not show the reality of being the partner who carries the weight. Friends and family do not act supportive like on TV. In real life, people judge. People whisper. People say you are stupid for staying. About me, yes, I am overweight. I am 5'11". In high school, I was a football guy, 250 pounds of muscle. At the time of the affair, I was 228 with a gut and chest fat. Doctors say some of it is stretched skin, but it still messes with my confidence. My wife was everything to me. I only wanted her. I did not want to take care of myself alone because I wanted intimacy with my wife, not an empty replacement. But intimacy with her felt like I was always the one wanting, and she was always the one refusing. She did not initiate. She did not say I love you first. She did not kiss me first. She did not lean into me. Everything felt like a response, not desire. I tried. I asked. I communicated. I compromised. Yes, I could be a jerk when I was sexually frustrated. But when you're always giving and the other person always makes you feel guilty for wanting to feel wanted, it wears you down. Even with all that, I never thought about cheating. I had opportunities, but I did not want anyone else. Then I got an email saying my wife was pregnant. I lost it. I had to put my hands on her. I'm not proud of that. I was hurt. She was my wife. The only woman I promised loyalty to. And she cheated and got pregnant. I demanded answers. I believed her when she said it was once at the bowling alley. After I left, I sat at a bar for hours talking to strangers. Eventually I found a guy, and I attacked him. Was it wrong? Maybe. But at the time it made me feel something other than pure humiliation. I went to multiple lawyers. I was told that after child support and alimony, I would be left with almost nothing each month. I was told it would be more financially beneficial to stay married, even if we lived like roommates. So I converted the garage into an apartment. Did I treat her like garbage? Yes. I'm not defending that. About the abortion, I made sure it happened because I could not live with a constant reminder of her affair. I would not have been able to love that child as my own. I believe that would have been worse for the child too. A few days after the abortion, I downloaded Tinder for the first time in 26 years. I slept with another woman. I felt guilty and sick, but she made me feel wanted. Then it kept happening. It was not even the sex. It was the feeling of being desired. The initiation. The affection. I went overboard because it was everything I had been missing. My wife kept saying she did not know why she cheated, and that made me furious. She can remember tiny details from years ago, but she cannot explain the biggest betrayal of our life. I told her I slept with other women to hurt her and to feel like a man again. Then I kept going because those hookups gave me something she had not given me in years. When my wife and I had sex after the affair, it did not feel real to me. It felt like she was doing it to fix the marriage, not because she wanted me. I could feel the difference. That is why I kicked her out afterward. I could not stand the idea of pity sex or repair sex. I started seeing my own therapist. An affair is trauma. It cuts deep. It makes you feel empty. It makes you question every sacrifice you made. It makes you feel like the whole marriage was a joke at your expense. At the beginning, I even got DNA tests for the kids because I could not trust anything she said. I deleted the apps 2 months ago. I have not slept with anyone else since then. 3 weeks ago, my wife and I had sex because it was our wedding anniversary. But I could tell she was doing it out of obligation, so I left afterward. I told her what I needed, and it still does not click. I told her that if she wants any real chance of fixing this, she needs to tell her parents what happened. I will not tell my family because they will push me to leave her. Her parents, however, might keep it private and might support her in changing. Our oldest is 11 and the second child is 10. Unless I suddenly make a lot more money, I will be here for at least 8 more years. That is a long time to live under the same roof with anger. Will I forgive her? I do not know, but I know this. I will never forget. I do not see her the same way. I do not see my wife. I see the woman who broke my heart. 3-month update. We have made slow progress. Slow and steady is the only way to describe it. We told my parents shortly after his post. We visited them and sat them down. My parents reacted badly. They blamed my husband. They said something like this was bound to happen because of my autism. They said I am gullible and easily influenced, and that my husband trying to treat me like a normal person would eventually backfire. That made my husband explode. He screamed at them. It was the first time he ever raged at my parents. During the conflict, I had a sensory meltdown. The stress and noise overwhelmed me. But I forced myself to focus on my husband. I saw him break down in a way I had not seen since Discovery Day. He cried for the first time since all of this. I pushed my own panic aside and comforted him. We went home, and I followed him. I finally told him the full details of that night. The conversation, the manga topics, why I stayed in the lounge, how the man insisted on walking me to my car, how he kissed me, how I let it happen because I did not want to upset a stranger, and because I freeze and people please under pressure. I told him I have no excuse. It was wrong, selfish, and irrational. He listened. He was furious, but he controlled himself. He did not lash out physically. He just listened. A week later, he started attending a support group for betrayed spouses twice a week in the next town. I did not even know such groups existed. He showed me the community center listing. I went to a meeting with him once. Hearing his pain was devastating. Hearing the pain of other betrayed spouses was overwhelming. It made me realize how deep this kind of betrayal cuts. Last month, he was acting better. He even started coming back into the main house sometimes. We were not normal, not even close, but we were building a new footing. 2 weeks ago, he surprised me with a dinner date. It went well. We talked. We laughed. For a moment, I felt hope. Then the waiter came to our table. It was the affair partner. In 1 second, my husband went from calm to violent. He attacked him and beat him. I grabbed my head and cried. The screaming and chaos was too much for me. My husband put my noise-canceling headset on my ears and escorted me out because he knows how sensory overload affects me. I thought he would get arrested, but the police did not come to our home afterward. Maybe the restaurant handled it privately. Maybe the other man did not report it. I do not know. But since that night, my husband has moved back into the garage again. He still goes to the support group twice a week. He still sees his therapist. We still attend counseling. He is struggling hard, and I feel helpless. I wish I could undo everything. I miss us. Secret voices. I cheated once, she vanished, and now I found out she is married and pregnant in Norway. I'm going to tell this story from a man's perspective. He is convinced he's being treated unfairly, but he also admits he cheated. He says he and his wife were together for 10 years total, 2 dating and 8 married. He says they had something special. He calls her the love of his life. Then he cheated once, only 1 time, and everything ended. He says he never even got the chance to explain. Somehow she found out. He thinks she found something on his phone. One day he came home and the house felt wrong. Her things were gone. He panicked and called her again and again, but her phone did not ring. Then he saw divorce papers on the table. Under them was a note saying, "This is what you do with cheaters." That was the last message he ever got from her. For 2 years, he did not see her or hear her voice. All contact went through lawyers. He begged for couples therapy. She refused. The divorce was finalized after a long fight. He admits he did not make it easy because he did not want the marriage to end. He spiraled. He drank too much. He stopped eating. He stopped sleeping. He says he felt like a zombie. He says he wanted to die, but held on to hope she would return. His therapist told him that lack of closure makes it harder because your brain keeps expecting the person to come back. Then a new shock hit him. He was drinking with a friend, Nick, and Nick told him he should move on because his ex-wife is happy. That made him suspicious. He pressured Nick until Nick admitted that Nick's wife, Sabrina, had been in contact with the ex-wife. Nick revealed that the ex-wife moved to Norway, got married, and is about 7 months pregnant. That information destroyed him. He could not understand how she moved on so fast while he was falling apart. He started making assumptions. Maybe she married for legal reasons. Maybe she got pregnant as revenge. Maybe she does not really love the guy. He admits these thoughts are killing him. He wanted to contact her, but he had no number. She closed social media. Her family blocked him. He even says he feels tempted to travel to find her, but he does not know where she lives. In later edits, he complains that people show no empathy. He admits he was wrong, but insists he is not a monster or narcissist. He argues that cheating does not automatically mean he never loved her. He keeps repeating that it was one time. He also starts stalking for clues. He follows her relatives from a fake account. He searches and searches until he finds a Norwegian woman on Facebook who seems connected to his ex-wife's family. He finds wedding pictures. He realizes the ex-wife got married about a year ago, and that she was already with a new man less than a year after leaving. He becomes obsessed with details of a new husband. He insults the man's appearance and profession. He claims he is an engineer too and cannot understand why she would choose another engineer. He says he will not go to Norway. He says he will not contact her. But then he ends by sending messages into the void, hoping the post reaches her, and blaming the new man for taking advantage of a broken woman. I tried to teach my girlfriend a lesson about safety and ended up assaulting her and losing her. A 26-year-old man and his girlfriend, 25, live together. Their area is mostly safe, but has drunk men outside at night. The man worries for both of them. His girlfriend is confident and says she can handle herself. She's tall and works out. She jokes that he should be the one scared because he is skinny. One night, she wanted to come home alone by public transport at 1 a.m. He offered to pick her up. She refused. When she got home, she was angry that he did not trust her strength. Then he made a terrible choice. He wanted to prove that a man's physical advantage can be large. He asked her to try to take him down. She agreed confidently. He broke out of her grip and pinned her on the ground for several minutes until she surrendered. She cried and looked frightened. He claims he would never harm her, but she still felt scared because she could not get free. He realized he humiliated her and terrified her. He slept on the couch. The next morning, she would not talk. He later admits it was assault. People told him he committed domestic violence. In the update, he says she broke up with him the next day. She wanted him to admit he enjoyed seeing her cry. At first, he denied it, but later he admitted something dark. He says he felt a bit aroused by overpowering her and seeing her cry, and he is ashamed. He started therapy and decided not to date for at least a year. Later, she called him, and they made peace. She is doing well. She is graduating and dating someone new. He is still in therapy and feels it is best they stay apart. 3 stories, 3 different disasters. 1 marriage breaks because betrayal triggers rage and trauma, and even therapy cannot quickly repair what was shattered. 1 man cheats, loses everything, and then becomes obsessed with controlling a story that is no longer his. 1 man tries to prove a point and becomes the danger he claims he feared, and he pays the price. Thank you for watching. If you want more stories like this, subscribe to the channel, hit like, and share with your friends.